Ross Archibald. I perform as singer-songwriter under the name Archie. I've been living in East Belfast for the last 20 years. I suppose I was kind of fortunate in a way that music, like I don't really have a memory of like, oh, this is my introduction to music. Music was just always there. There was always music in the house. My mum and dad were always playing music. It was in the car. It was, you know, in the house. It was while they were doing things. And I just really, I don't know, I can't imagine not having music around, you know. So my first influences obviously would have been what they were listening to. There was a lot of Queen and stuff being played and all sorts of things, you know, Simon and Garfunkel and my mum liked Chris de Burgh. And it was just all this variety of music being played. And it seemed to be that, like, you know, when I went to relatives' houses, they always had like records and CDs and tapes, and you'd just be looking through them and wondering what they sound like. So like, my family were big sort of music fans in a sense, you know, so I was kind of around that, and then you start to develop your own taste. I suppose the first big artist that I was into was Michael Jackson. I was like, oh, still trying to moonwalk, you know, I haven't mastered it yet, but it's always like the shoes off and trying to like slide across the kitchen floor in your socks. But I think even like through Michael Jackson, like, you know, at that time, you know, like Bad and Thriller, there's elements of rock and there's like soul and there's disco and there's funk, and like without really even, you know, he's obviously a pop artist, but you don't realize at the time, but there's so much influence and so many genres being blended and going into that, you know, as well as the showmanship of it all. So like, yeah. Never trust a man who doesn't have a dream. He's been lying to himself. And if the rapture doesn't get you, then apathy is hell. Imelda, you will never know. Imelda, you will never know. I held you once and I let you go. The sheets beside me feel so cold tonight. Imelda, you will never know. I held you once and I let you go. The sheets beside me feel so cold. Imelda, you will never know. And if they wrote a book, the story of my life, I'd wanna change the end for sure. But the plot will maybe twist, and I'm just clinging on to this. Imelda, you will never know. Imelda, you will never know. I held you once and I let you go. The sheets beside me feel so cold tonight. Imelda, you will never know. I held you once and I let you go. The sheets beside me feel so cold. Imelda, you will never know. Well, I'm out on the front line, fighting with myself, with the white flag to be raised. History is told by the winners of the wars. Imelda, you will never know. Imelda, you will never know. I held you once and I let you go. The sheets beside me feel so cold tonight. Well, yeah, being a musician in the loosest sense of the terms, I never really got the grasp of music. Like in school we played recorder and we played keyboards, but like when I got to secondary school and like 3 years of music, where you were in the room, you were the keyboards and stuff, but teachers soon realised that it was a class of messers and everybody was just hitting demo on the next person's. So for 3 years we played keyboard in silence, just practicing the fingers, and it's like, I don't even want to be learning Frere Jacques in the first place, but if I am, at least I want to hear it, you know. So I just thought, well, music's not for me. And then probably when I was around 14 or 15, in the mid-90s, like Britpop was like massive, it was everywhere, and it was guitar bands, and suddenly guitars were very much back in fashion, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. So I got a lend of an old guitar with terrible action, basically unplayable. It was in one of my grandfather's attics. He was like, I have a guitar you could learn on. My other grandfather was a professional musician. He played, you know, the dances and stuff, and guitar and singing and stuff, so he changed the strings, tuned it up for me, and away I went for a couple of months, like fingers in agony, but basically just trying to bash out Oasis songs and suffering on through. And then by that Christmas, I think my parents realised, no, he must be serious about this if he's enduring what he's enduring, so I got my first proper guitar then. My son, who's just about to turn 15, has recently taken an interest in guitar. For years I wanted to impose it on, like, please play the guitar, it's great, it's great. But he's kind of come to that realisation himself, and I hear him and he's picking it up, and I'm just saying to him, like, just play the stuff that you like. Don't get bogged down too much in like the theory and the correct ways. It's like, find the stuff that you want. It has to be fun. Once it stops being fun, you're gonna put it in the corner, it's gonna gather dust. You know, I would say that to anyone, and I guess that's the same could be said for any instrument or any hobby or anything like that. Once the fun goes out of it, then why are you doing it still? Knock, knock, it's Jesus from Toronto. I just stopped by to say hello. It sure feels good to be in New York City. Just take my picture before you go. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The more things stay the same, I feel like changing. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The more things stay the same, I feel like changing. Turn out the lights just to see how it feels in the dark. Play all the sad songs, see if they still break your heart. You used to have fire, but now you've lost your spark. Just play all the sad songs, bet that they still break your heart. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The more things stay the same, I feel like changing. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The more things stay the same, I feel like changing. Imagine the world if you can, where we do not exist, where I've never held your hand and our lips have never kissed. Imagine a world if you can, where we do not exist, where I've never held your hand and our lips have never kissed. Knock, knock, it's Jesus from Toronto. I just stopped by to say hello. What I like about it is that, like, I picked it up in a charity shop, 70 quid, had no intention of buying a guitar that day, was dropping some stuff off, seen a guitar and lifted it and thought, this feels kind of nice, I'm a bit of a steal, I'm gonna take it, and got it home and like done a bit of research, and so it's like it was made in Japan in the early 80s. It's not quite as old as me, but it's not a million miles off, and yeah, so done a bit of research, and these were actually made in a factory that were making Loudon guitars at the time, and apparently there was some sort of agreement that George Loudon would design a guitar for this factory. It's not a Loudon, it's not branded as such, but there was some input from George, so they made these, and then also the sort of the high-end Loudons and stuff. It came in a case that was absolutely battered and had stickers from airlines that had been all over the world. I'm thinking, like, it's holes in it, it's scuffed, it's seen better days, which probably why it's a good fit for me, because I'm a bit like that myself. But I mean, even the stories that this guitar would be able to tell, like, I mean, it's a brand new guitar off the shelf is lovely, but you know, I like things with a bit of character. I like things that are a bit rough around the edges and have lived a life. Yeah, the first song I wrote was purely by accident, and certainly never intended to write songs. I was playing guitar for years and years, and it was like in my 30s, actually, when my oldest son was young. I was looking for just things to do in the evening when, you know, we'd put him to bed, and you're sort of like, oh, I was like, I'll get the guitar out again, and I was just playing along and messing around and things, and suddenly I started like singing along like melodies, and then they became words, and I was like, oh. So I wrote the song, and I was like, oh, I have written a song. And then a couple of weeks I'd written another song, which became then another song, and for a long time it was like, I would never say I was a songwriter, because that's quite a statement. You know, people have then expectation of I was someone who played guitar and I wrote some songs, and to an extent I still feel like that. I'm not overly comfortable going, hey guys, I'm a songwriter, you know. But yeah, I just started, and I played in a couple of bands and stuff, but not as a singer, not as the songwriter. And it's just a frustrating thing, you know, it's hard to get things off the ground. And then I just made the decision, you know what, I'm going to try and do this myself. I've got songs here, I'll try and present them, and that's what I'm still trying to do. Running in the race from 9 to 5, I'm told you gotta work just to stay alive. So hit your job and you just can't say, 'cause there's mouths to feed and there's bills to pay. You've been doing this since you turned 16, so maybe take a break from the old routine. Maybe take a break from the old routine. Maybe take a break from the old routine. Gotta make that money, gotta make that green. Maybe take a break from the old routine. Well, I knew a guy who was a friend of a friend, was a hard-working soul and a family man. He got sick and he passed away, and they hired his replacement the very next day. When you're working for a check, there's no loyalty, so maybe take a break from the old routine. Maybe take a break from the old routine. Maybe take a break from the old routine. Gotta make that money, gotta make that green. Maybe take a break from the old routine. I have a sort of a sticky sort of relationship with live playing. It's a complicated relationship I would have with it. I love actually when the moment when you say, right, I'm here, I'm doing this. I enjoy the playing. The moment leading up to it, I have all sorts of anxieties and thoughts of like, oh, what am I doing? And what if it goes wrong? And the answer is nothing, because I've done it plenty of times where you're like, oh, I'm going to start this again, or you forget a line, or you miss a note. And nothing happens, and at the end of it you always get a round of applause and people give you some feedback. And so I need to get out of my head more in terms of that. I guess the happiest is when I am writing, when I've got like an idea and I can see, hold on, this is fleshing out a bit, this is like, there's something here. I start lots of songs that never get finished because, you know, you've had a go, you've come at it from a few different angles and there's nothing there. You put it on the back burner, but when you get something you're like, oh, there's something in this. That's probably my favourite part of that. I have recorded a few demos with different producers over the years, and I've always been sort of happy with the results, but I guess I need to kind of maybe lock in a bit more and sort of define like, what is this meant to sound like, what can I add to this, you know, and just get out there and do it. It's really daunting, but like it's appreciative. Do you know what I mean? Like people don't have to give up their time. You know, people could use me as their bar break or whatever, their toilet break, and people stay around and listen. And then afterwards, you know, just getting any sort of feedback. And what I like and what I do to, you know, when I go and see another singer songwriter is like pick out, like, you know, don't go, that was great. You know, I like that song you did about the whatever. You know, if you can be specific, you know, it makes a big difference to the songwriter. People can like highlight a song of mine that they enjoyed, particularly what, you know, like, okay, so that's what one person liked it, so that's a success, that's job done. You can run home to your father like you're still his little girl. You can reach out to your mother, you know you still light up her world. You can act a little cooler, you can turn on all your charms, you can bargain with the devil, try to keep yourself from harm. You can pour out all your heartache in every song you sing. You can stand and face your fears now, you can turn them into wings. You can look into the mirror at the stranger that you see. You can ask yourself some questions, like, is that really me? You can live like it's your last chance, get where you wanna go. You can smile like you keep a secret that no one will ever know. You can pour out all your heartache in every song you sing. You can stand and face your fears now, turn them into wings. Into wings. In your head there plays a movie. You're the star up on the screen. Are you the hero or the villain, or something in between? You can pour out all your heartache in every song you sing. You can stand and face your fears now, turn them, you can turn them into wings. Well, to get up and say, I wrote this song is terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, it's still terrifying. There's just something about it. It's like you're very exposed. It's a very intimate thing. It's like getting up there and kind of saying, this is part of me. You know, you can get up and play a cover, and even that is nerve-wracking to an extent because it's the performance. But if people didn't like the song, well, I don't care, I didn't write it. But I have played, like, and I've got to meet some really amazing singer-songwriters, and there's just such a positive vibe, I think, around Belfast, and the support has been overwhelming. And some of the friendships and relationships that have kind of been born out of doing this and putting yourself out there, it's fantastic. You know, it does keep you going, because at times you're thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, I feel like I shouldn't be doing this. There's much better people out there than me doing this, and but I don't know, there's just something that keeps bringing you back to that. You know, there's something that's just like, I sort of feel compelled to do it. It's certainly not for the money or the adulation, because you don't get a lot of that, but it's definitely the relationships and the people that you meet along the way make it a really great experience. All the roads lead to somewhere, even if we miss the signs. And we can start this thing all over, try to get it right next time. You said there's magic in the moonlight, there must be music in the stars, and there are songs we'll sing for lovers as we hold them in our arms. And I wish that it was easy, Sometimes things just fall apart. I'm just trying to pick up all the pieces of my jigsaw heart, of my jigsaw heart. We'll go driving in the nighttime, radio playing in the car, and in the static between the stations, we'll search for voices in the dark. And I wish that it was easy. Sometimes things just fall apart. I'm just trying to pick up all the pieces of my jigsaw heart, of my jigsaw heart. Yeah, I'd say it's a relatively hard thing. Like, you know, it is. You'd need to approach, if you wanted to do it for a living, you'd need to approach it like it's a job, and you would need to put the hours in that you would put in a 9 to 5 or whatever you're working. I never really had the aspirations to be like, I'm sort of the opposite. Like, I don't have the dream of like quitting my job and doing music. I suppose it would be nice, but then I'm always like a bit negative and think, but at what point do I start thinking, oh, this is a job now, I wish I was doing something else, you know. Music allows me the freedom and the relaxation, you know. It's great. You know, you've had a tough day at work, you don't want to then come home and think, I must get this electronic press kit out, and I must work on the design of the book, this, I have to contact a few venues. I want to lift the guitar and switch off, you know. And I'm fortunate enough that sometimes a song will come out of that, you know. And I don't have the hustle in me to, like, you know, contact venues and contact bookers and things like that. But I've just found that for me, I've just been lucky, I think, in that I've been offered opportunities for gigs. And for this today, for example, I would never have contacted you, have me on, you know, put me out there, but you offered, and I'm not going to say no. I just kind of go with the flow, and whatever comes next comes. The way you set my mind on fire, fan the flames as they grow higher. Smoke blinds me with desire, because I want you. The power of 1,000 seas brings the gods down to their knees. And I'll do anything you please, because I want you. I want you in the morning light, I want you in the dead of night. I wanna sleep safe in your arms, I wanna fall for all your charms. I want you. Wish upon a falling star, or the headlight of a speeding car, to be anywhere you are, because I want you. In the here and now today, in your past it's gone away, in the future here to stay, I just want you. I want you in the morning light, I want you in the dead of night. I wanna sleep safe in your arms, and I wanna fall for for all your junk. I want you in the morning light. I want you in the dead of night. I wanna sleep safe in your arms. I wanna fall for all your I mean, it's kind of like different songs for different needs, you know. If something's catchy and you hear it on the radio and it sticks in your head, that's a good song because it's done its job, it's embedded in there. But then sometimes, like for me, I love lyrics and I really just always want to write lyrics that don't fall into sort of the cliches and the tropes that everybody writes. So whenever I hear something that really catches my ear, I'm like, oh, that'll be something that jumps out at me. Yeah, it's hard. You kind of have to be accountable to yourself because sometimes you're halfway through a song and you want to finish it and you think, oh, that'll do, but it won't do. Do you know what I mean? You're not doing yourself justice. It's worth spending the time to really hone it and say what you want to say and make sure that it's coming across. You're happy with the end result, basically. Well, you can visit me on Facebook, Archie Music NI. There's an Instagram too, which I don't know if I've ever posted anything on it. I don't really understand it. Maybe need to get my kids to explain the ins and outs of it. But yeah, definitely Facebook would be a good starting point. Cross upon silver, have your fortune told, but the lie that you cling to is worth its weight in gold. And you can cross the ocean, run away from your past, but nothing's forever. None of this will last. We can run, we can crawl, we can pick ourselves up when we fall. We've all been broken, all been hurt. We're all just diamonds in the dirt. We can laugh, we can cry, we can watch the years roll by. You don't know just what you're worth. We're all just diamonds in the dirt. And I lie here in the darkness, awake to bathe in your light. And I'd give up 1,000 days to be with you one night. I'd give you the stars if we never reached the moon. And I'd let down my guard if you wanted me to. We can run, we can crawl, we can pick ourselves up when we fall. We've all been broken, all been hurt. We're all just dying